While we're primarily known for our screen-printed t-shirts, the Ann Arbor T-shirt company also has an extensive embroidery operation. We stitch hats, polos, jerseys, jackets, and more. Artwork. As with screen printing, everything begins with the artist. Our creative director, Christina, works in consultation with our embroidery technicians to formulate art specifically for sewing.
With embroidery, I have to make sure not to get too fine of detail. The stitches can only get so small. Maybe a couple extra colors, not quite as fine in detail.
Digitization. The artwork now needs to be translated into a format that our embroidery machines can understand. This is called digitization. It's a technical process and skill set. A good digitization ensures that the stitching is run in an efficient, long-lasting, and visually pleasing sequence. It tells the machines what order to put the stitches in and how to do it. If you've ever had something embroidered that looked off or fell apart, the culprit was likely a poor digitization sequence. Once the artwork is complete, it's sent over our internal network to our embroidery room, simulated here by Heidi the Newfoundland. Hooping and prep. Now that the artwork is ready and translated into directions that the embroidery machines can follow, it's time to prep the garments themselves. This process is called hooping. The goal of hooping is to isolate the area that is going to be embroidered inside of a rigid clamp, which will keep it from shifting while the thread is being applied. Because even a small embroidery design receives thousands of stitches, and a large one can have hundreds of thousands, it's critical that every stitch goes exactly where it's supposed to. It's also crucial that the design area receives backing, fabric behind the stitching that gives it more structure, and in doing so ensures a longer lasting stitch out. If you look on the inside of almost anything that has been embroidered, you'll see backing, usually a simple white fabric. Stitching. With the hats properly and securely hooped, and the artwork loaded in the embroidery machine software, it's time to sew. The embroidery technician loads the thread colors that the design calls for, making some final adjustments, and the process begins. The amount of time varies based on how many stitches are being applied, but it generally takes about 10 minutes for most of our products. Clean up. Embroidery usually results in extra pieces of thread and unnecessary backing strips that need to be snipped and trimmed to give the final product a neat, tidy finish. Removing excess backing also makes the apparel more comfortable to wear. Bagging and shipping. Once our product is cleaned up and ready to go, it's off to Amazon. We use automatic baggers to help us pack efficiently and accurately while ensuring the apparel remains clean and dust-free. Once packed, the boxes are shipped to prime warehouses around the country where they become available for purchase by customers all over the world.